Hey everybody, this is Smashing Game Time. We are three brothers who go through the back catalog of gaming's yesteryear. I am your host, Nick. Hey, bottom caddy corner left, that is Jake. Say hi, Jake.
Hi, Jake.
Thanks, Jake. To my left, not caddy corner at all, that is Josh.
Wow, hello everyone.
Josh is sitting in the dark tonight, but that's okay because it's a spooky Halloween episode.
Ooh.
Lightning, thunder.
Thunder, all of it. We are not doing a back cap today. Oh, Josh turned the lights off completely. He's sitting in the dark.
Welcome.
Oh, that's actually really
welcome.
You never know what's going to creep up on him. Today we are picking our top 10 scariest moments in gaming. We're doing it live right here. It could take all night. Who knows? But before we get into that, let's talk about what we've been playing. I think the hot button game right now. Oh God, Josh has disappeared completely. He's gone. It's just me and Jake now.
good riddance.
Oh, he's back. Okay,
Oh,
so I think the game that we're all like really into right now is Marvel Snap.
Yes.
Guys, what are your Marvel Snap thoughts? Go ahead.
Honestly, it's really addicting. I mean, it's one of those games where I kept seeing commercials for it before, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then after you guys talking about it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I can't put my phone down.
They were hitting me really hard on Twitter, and I was like, you know what? I'll try it. And I tried it, and the loop was just right. Like, it's one of those, like, whenever I play games like that, I get worried that, like, oh, like, eventually they're going to get me, and I'm going to have to, like, spend money. Now, I will say that I did buy the Battle Pass, but it wasn't because, like, I was stuck in a loop. It was because, oh, I really like this game. I've been playing for a handful of hours. Let's get the Battle Pass.
I actually like the Miles Morales alternative, too. It looks really good.
The 8-bit one or whatever it is.
Yes, that, and then the one that they show for the cover, you have to get level 50 or Battle Pass 50.
Well, and what I really like about it is, besides paying for the Battle Pass and paying for the welcome thing that I wanted, there's been no need because the loop of like keeping stuff going is like pretty constant, and matches only take what, 3 minutes at the most.
Yeah,
I'd say an average of 2 to 3 minutes, and then your longest match maybe 5.
So for those who don't know, this is a card. Marvel Snap is a card game. And basically, you're fighting over these 3 control zones, and you're using cards that are based off Marvel properties. And they all have their different abilities, and the bases that you're trying to take also have different abilities that change up how you're playing each game, sort of. So really, it's just about, you get, like, at the start of the match, you have, like, turn 1, you have 1 energy. So, like, some cards cost 1 energy, 2, all the way up to 6. And you have to basically plan out. So like that first turn you play a 1 energy card, the next turn you have 2, you might be able to play a 2 energy or 2 1 energies, and then so on and so forth. And then like some of those areas, like one will like, hey, you get 5 energy boost. I think that's the featured one right now that kind of speeds the game, speeds it up in the early
event.
Right, so they have like all different effects basically. So like Nick said, one can have like a 5+ energy for that turn, one can give you an energy for every turn that you don't have a card on there. One could give you 5 rocks that they shuffle into your deck, which are useless.
Well, can be used. I mean, they could be used if you have one of those, like Karza.
Oh, actually, I've got my Carnage, who basically devours all the cards beforehand and then gives you +2 for every card that was on there. So if I got 3 rocks on there, my Carnage goes from a power level 2 to a power level 8.
Or even like it could backfire on a player. So like if like I forget the dinosaur's name, King Dino or something.
Oh, the Crimson Dino or whatever.
Yeah, he gets +2 for every card in your hand. So if you're just holding those rocks, boom, boom, boom. I think that's my least favorite thing is like everything is so scenario based. Like I'm coming from Gwent, I'm coming from Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I want to have chains that I know I can pull off, and like the areas make it fun because you never know what you're gonna get each match, but you also don't have like a surefire thing. So like right now I'm working on I'm playing a denial deck I'm testing, and there are cards that like deny, like, hey, cards that activate on reveal, can't do that. Hey, cards that are ongoing, can't do that. Hey, Professor X comes out, no one can put any other cards in this little area. But again, like the way I'm playing that is completely dependent upon what areas I'm getting.
Yeah, there was a moment last night I was playing an all reveal deck, and one of the areas was reveal abilities do not happen. I'm just like, are you kidding me? And then like one of the other ones was the bar for no one, or bar bar for nowhere or whatever.
That's the one you want to leave empty, right?
Yeah, the negative, the one person, the player with the least amount of energy wins that one. And then I'm like, I can't do anything. Like, I've had several games where I couldn't place anything, so I would have to retreat early just so I would lose at least one rank point.
Well, and
over like 2.
It feels like when an area, so there's an area where if you control that area or you're winning that area, you get +3 to the other areas. So it feels like games where that is one of the areas that becomes key, and it becomes really annoying because you're like, okay, well, if I don't have any, like if I didn't know that from the first turn, so the areas reveal one turn at a time. So if you went heavy in an area before it was revealed, and then it's revealed, and then your enemy's like, oh, I can just drop a Hulk and something else and win this.
Yeah,
you're kind of effed.
I kind of do that. I do that when there's an area where no one's touched, like the one where you can't put a card in on on turns 3, 4, and 5, and then turn 6. Yeah, I'll just drop a Hulk there or whatever. But like what I try to do in the game is I try to focus all in one area, and then kind of just like have to fight over the second one that I have to win the match.
I get tunnel vision because I'll get locked on one, and I'll be like, I'm winning this. But so like I'll put who is that? Is that Steelheart or Ironheart? Mm-hmm. I'll have Ironheart down, who like gives.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble. See, she gives +2 boost to 3 random cards on the field, and you're like, okay, like I need you to put it over here, or like White Tiger or White Lion or whatever her name is will drop a 7+ token randomly on another area, and you're like, okay, I need you to go to this area, and it never fucking does it.
What I try to force it, so I'll keep the area that I don't need the tiger in like full, just so it's forced to go into the other one.
Does it do it automatically? I feel like I remember like an early game when I was playing that I did that, and like it didn't go because the one it wanted to go to was full.
I'd never been in that situation.
I've never seen that. For me, it's been every time it's full.
Okay.
It goes to the ones that aren't full, or the one that you don't pick.
Maybe I'm just misremembering, but no. The other thing that I'm annoyed by is if you put a card down in a spot and you want to switch it, you got to put it back into your hand.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb too. Yeah. It throws me off. I was like, what?
I'm like, come on, let me, because at first I was like, oh, I guess I can't undo this at all. Like any other card game where something like that presents itself, you're like, oh, okay, I can just move it. But no, back to the hand, and then, which I guess kind of makes sense because when you're your cards go in order that you lay them down, so that's important when you're doing that. Mm-hmm. So I understand it from that standpoint, but just let me move the card.
Speaking of that, did you guys know how sometimes you reveal first over the opponent?
Yeah. It's if your name's highlighted.
Yeah, if your name's highlighted, if you didn't know that.
So like Electra's an early card you can play that destroys an enemy's 1 energy card. So if you go first, the first few times that happened to me, if you go first and you don't get to kill anyone, you just wasted Electra.
Useless.
That's how I feel about the ones like the Guardians too, especially when you have to place them down at the right spot, wherever their enemy drops their card. Like I can't sometimes I'm looking at the field and I'm like, oh, they're not like they'll do like their Hawkeye. And I'm like, oh, okay, they're definitely put something there. And I put it right where the Hawkeye's going to be. And of course, they're like, nope, and they'll put it somewhere else. I'm like, why? You just wasted your Hawkeye. Why?
Like, what are you doing? I do like that I'm starting to see a theme in some of like the heroes. So like Josh was saying, like all the Guardians have a, hey, if the enemy plays somebody here, the Guardian gets a boost or the Guardian gets their effect. So I do like that. Mm-hmm. I want to get into a lot late game so I can see some of those other cards. I want to see.
I've already ran into one that I absolutely hate.
What?
Magneto.
I haven't seen Magneto.
I've not played Magneto yet, but I hear he's really good.
Dude, okay, so I played him in 2 rounds back to back, and both times he fucked me.
What do you do? What's he do?
So he pulls all level cost. I think it's 3 and 4s to his tile from the enemy team. So if I get them all in strategic spots to take the win, he can literally place it on the one that's like really shitty, like the really shitty spot. Pull all my powerful cards. I'll beat him in that one spot, even though he has 12 power, and he'll beat me in the other 2 spots.
Is he an ongoing or is he a on reveal?
I think it's on reveal.
On reveal.
And what level is he?
He's 6.
See, and that's the other issue I have with the game right now. There's no real counter to a 6 card.
Yeah, unless it's because like obviously Hulk is a 6 with just high energy, whatever, but you can kind of counter those depending on, I guess, areas.
What I try to do with them is I'll try to get like one spot specifically that I know they're gonna fight me for. Like I go for the heavier spot and I will reinforce it. So I'll do Hawkeye. Oh, this is my try to order: Hawkeye, Punisher, Captain America, and then depending on what spot it's in, like if it's like in the middle, I'll do like a Medusa, or if it's a right or left, I try to go like my level 6, because normally what happens is when they do that, I'm able to use like Odin, for example, to redo or not Odin. What's the other one I'm thinking of? The one that does the ongoing.
Is that Spectrum?
Onslaught?
Onslaught.
Okay.
Do Onslaught, and I basically boost myself 10 times over. So I'll destroy them in that spot.
I wish there was a clearer way to counter, because if you're going first on the 6th turn and they're getting ready to throw down something that's going, like if they're going to throw down a Hulk, it's a lot harder to beat it if you're going for first or second. I forget it's just harder to beat those 6 cards, especially if you're like tied. It's like that. It's like top decking. It's almost like top decking at that point.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely harder to do, but I think once you get an idea of what they're going to do and what the field looks like, you at least have a chance. Like, I can't tell you how many times like I've looked at the field and it's close in every single spot, and I'm like, well, I have to basically just pick and hope they pick that spot and win. And then they pull up Magneto.
Like there's moments where like I'll play Yondu and they'll destroy one of their cards, and I could kind of tell what they were gonna play depending on what cards destroyed. Like one time, Yondu destroyed Odin. I'm like, yep, all right. I snapped instantly. I was like, I knew exactly how this guy was gonna play.
That's my new favorite fuck you time to snap, is like dropping Yondu, seeing what's destroyed, and then snapping. Because then most of the time they're either like hesitant to snap, or they just fucking leave.
Yeah, they're like, nope.
They're like, nope. You destroyed my guy. I can't stay for this.
What's your guys' favorite card so far that you've used?
I would have said Odin, but I really like Yondu right now. Yondu's a really good opener.
Josh?
I have to say mine's Nightcrawler. It's just nice being able to move him.
Oh, I actually maxed him out. I maxed out Nightcrawler, and then you get you can get a modded copy, so then you get like a new copy that's like rainbowed out, and you get to do the frame break and the 3D again. So I'm not sure what happens after you do that, but
I got Nightcrawler done. You probably get like a gold or like a hollow or something like that.
Maybe. And then so my favorite that I've used so far is Galactus.
I haven't seen him yet.
I've pulled him out of the Professor X area, where you get a random card on turn 3.
So then I'm getting close.
Actually, no, it wasn't turn 3. I got him beating when you fill that area up. The first one to fill up the area, and you get a 6 power that costs 0.
Did you have an open spot to use him though? To like use his effect?
Yeah. So his effect, he basically wipes out all the other areas.
Dude, that's a big fuck you.
Yeah, so I played that, and the guy used that little command thing. He's like, what just happened?
I think I broke the game at one point. So the area where like if you play a card, like it makes 3 copies of the card.
Yeah,
I played Odin, and so it made 4 copies of Odin. And Odin's ability is that everyone who has an on reveal ability does it.
Shit.
So it was just like it was seriously like a minute-long loop of all 4 of them doing it over and over and over again.
Please tell me they retreat because they were just tired of watching it.
The guy responded like, "What's like?" He had the little butt like, "What happened?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What'd you do?"
My favorite thing I've done, and I haven't done it recently because they pulled them out, is pulling out the not sentries, the bots. Sentinels, putting them on the cloner. So you do it, they clones them, and then on top of that you get one comes down, gets called. I've done that, and I pulled out what's his name, the Rex. I literally at one point had like my hand full. I mean, I won that spot with just the Rex alone.
I do just love like the nonstop of that Sentinel coming in. Like the themes are just amazing. I do have to ask, who's everyone's least favorite card? I'm gonna open with mine being Iron Man because it just feels broken every time it's paired with something.
I can't deal with Iron Man.
You heard mine, Magneto.
Tough one. Magneto.
I want him, but I hate him to go against because he's such an asshole.
Mine might be Cable right now.
Really?
Cable's because there are moments where good.
Cable will take one of my cards. Like one of the cards I need, because like I'll see him take it, and in my head I'm like, he probably took my Onslaught or my Blue Marvel or someone I need, and I get pissy because I'm just like waiting towards the end. I haven't got Onslaught or Blue Marvel yet. I'm like, he's fucking got my card.
You know what I'm surprised doesn't get used nearly as much though is Bishop.
I've seen a lot of Bishops.
I've seen him more. I've seen him more the last few days.
I agree. I see him a little more, but I don't think he gets nearly used as much as he should. He's a really good card, especially for early on.
Especially if you start like dropping, especially if you like play Bishop and then drop a Squirrel Girl.
Yep. Yeah, I want to say he's good, especially with this 5 power event.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because you can get him early, because that's kind of like with using what's her name, Angela.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
she's one of my favorite cards right now.
Well, that was Marvel Snap. Obviously, we're all obsessed with it right now. We also finally played Inside the Backrooms the other day.
Dude,
a little teaser, yeah.
Just a little teaser. Dude, the face. So for those who don't know, Into the Backrooms is a YouTube series that got popular over the last year, made by a college student. Really good stuff. Go check it out, especially that first video. But this game, you're basically wandering that area, and you have the TV head. I think there's the dog girl that was mentioned in a future video, or a later video, and then there's the face, the fucking face.
I honestly, like, after playing it, I'm kind of like more confident now. I'm not really scared. Well, I say that as I don't play it right now, but
we only saw 3 of the things on. I think there's like 12.
So that was one of the levels. I was gonna ask because going in, I was like, "Oh, these are all going to be randomly generated." But the one we played was the same. The one we played was the same.
I think for the most part, it's the same map. It's just the puzzles are slightly different as far as where you find things.
Okay,
because the puzzle for the elevator was different. Where we found the clock hands were different. Where we found the screwdriver and the hammer, I believe, were different.
I wish that it was a little more organized. I know the purpose of the game is, hey, you're in the back rooms, you're lost, you're not supposed to have any direction. But any kind of indication, like
what to do,
like why the fuck am I doing? Why am I hunting down these hands on this clock? Like what? And then what is this going to open for me? Where are we going?
Here's the better question. Why are these random? Like, I've watched the YouTube videos. Why is there random shit everywhere? Where in the videos, all we see is endless halls. We should just be endlessly looking for the exit. It shouldn't be we're doing puzzles or looking for pieces. Like, it literally should be us, like, to the endless mind. Like, I mean, there's so much potential there, but I don't understand the puzzle aspect. Like, don't give me that. Give me procedurally generated areas and have us literally search for hours to find the exit.
Make it big. Yeah, I agree. Like, why am I like the occasional puzzle is fine. Like the elevator puzzle, that's the right amount of puzzle.
Yes.
But everything else that it was doing, I was like, I just want to be like roaming randomly looking for where we need to go.
Right, like I don't understand the clock. I didn't understand the body parts because we hadn't gotten that far. The keys were fine. I think the keys are okay. Like that's okay, sure, maybe, but even then, like, no, it should just be endless halls.
The code pad was okay too, with the bodies on the ground.
But that's just, to me, it's like, okay, like, give me a reason other than you're going to give me some almond water and insanity pills.
And I honestly don't understand the insanity pills.
There's no marker for your insanity. I think this is still early access, right? It's not 1.0 yet.
No, and even then, like, don't get me wrong, it's only at, like, it was like $5. So like for $5, it's not terrible. There's just some things you would think they'd fix, especially with what lore is now, especially currently available.
I think we are seeing the monsters way too much.
Yes, I think the monsters need to be more spaced out, and like. My other big pet peeve with it was the ambience was so loud. Like my ears are still ringing from it.
I want to see what you think playing it in VR.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my VR charging now, actually.
That might be something to do soon.
I'm not ready for that.
Has anyone played anything else before we get into our main event? Jake?
Oh, Overwatch 2. I mean, it's been fun.
How was that?
I hate the ranking system. Ranking system's bullshit. Oh, it's bullshit.
Now, do they make you watch? Do they make you watch the mandatory sexual harassment in Office video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait, what? What is this?
No. You just random bullshit.
Random bullshit. Keep going.
I know exactly what he's talking about, but because Blizzard, it's Blizzard, Nick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People were bitching about Overwatch 2 not having loot boxes and all that stuff. I think we talked about this in the last podcast.
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, guys, they're trying to pay off that lawsuit. Like, come on. But what the ranking system, it's either you win 7 games and your rank adjusts, or you lose 20 games and your rank adjusts. And I was silver 4. I won 7 games, still silver 4. Won another 7 games, still silver 4. Another 7 games. Guess what? Silver 4. And I'm just like,
way to go.
What's going on?
It's a long way to the top.
It's ridiculous, and that's just playing support. I mean, my DPS, I'm not waiting long because support's queue times for the game. If you do the role queue, it's very short. You don't have to wait for anything because no one wants to play support. It's not a hard role to play, but everyone wants to be that COD soldier guy that wants to, do damage, but none of these guys want to do damage.
So let me get this straight. They took a system from one of their more popular games, put it into a game that no one likes playing support once again, and now nobody is able to play because no one wants to play it.
So they actually moved to role queue back in Overwatch 1 because of a team called Goats that made the game very boring. What they did in Overwatch League, they played, I think it was 3 tanks and 3 support. So no one was playing DPS because they figured out that you don't really need to play DPS.
As long as your tanks are defending your supports, you never lose.
Exactly. So then when people caught on to like, oh shit, this is optimal, everybody started doing it. And so everyone hated it because it made the game boring. So then Blizzard was like, all right, we're going to have to do role queue to where you can only have 2 tanks, 2 support, 2 DPS. Can't have any more of those. And then with Overwatch 2, they took out one. They took out 1 player, so now instead of 6 players, it's 5 players, and you have one tank.
It's one less tank, right?
Yeah, so it's 1 tank, 2 damage, 2 support.
Poor tanks.
It's Goats, man. It was just Goats. Goats screwed everything.
Thanks, Goats. Well, I'm glad that's still miserable for you, Jake.
Yes, still. It's fun. Games are fast, but good. Yeah.
The only 2 things I have is I've been playing Signalis. Signalis? Am I saying that right? I do not know. I'm working on a review for that for Game Chronicles. That is from what is the team called? That is Rose Engine. I believe that's their first game. But it's a horror like Resident Evil type, like tank controls, very throwback. It's very like sci-fi. It's almost kind of like Alien, where it's got like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like dirty sci-fi, where everything's like grungy almost. That's fun. That's
almost like a steampunk, I guess.
Yes, but like not steam, like not like.
Well, no, I meant like steampunk isn't like the atmosphere, not so much like the you know what I mean?
Well, when I think steampunk, I think it is kind of Anime Girlfriend, but it's like a darker steampunk.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Sorry, this review on the Steam page is cracking me up. All it says is the McRib is back, and it gives it a thumbs up.
Oh, that's all that is. Should I?
And then this other game I'm playing is called Trifox. It's basically it's a send up to Crash Bandicoot and Ratchet and Clank, which is the weirdest thing to think about because it's basically 2 separate developers who are doing some similar things at different times. It's fine. It's all right. It's not. You go to rescue. Someone steals your TV remote, and you basically go into this like vortex. It's kind of like Crash Bandicoot 3. It's got like the platform and everything. So you step on the button, you warp to the zone. The combat's not just spinning. Like you can buy different guns and shit. and buy like magic, and you can like pair it up, and it's pretty cool. It's a throwback to platformers. For some reason, PS1 games are in right now, so that's what everything tends to be right now. But they're both fine. Those reviews will be up soon. I got to write them, but that's all I've got. Are you guys ready to get into the top 10 moments of horror?
Yeah, let's see if we can come up with some type of list.
Let's see if we can do it. So the way we're going to do this, we all jotted down some moments, and we're going to try and narrow it down to 10. So if you've ever listened to like a game of the year discussion done on any gaming podcast at all, it's something like that. We're going to try this out. And I'm going to open it with a non-horror game moment. Like it's a horror moment, but it's not out of a horror game. What do you guys think of Samus X from Metroid Fusion?
Okay, so I've been thinking about it ever since you mentioned it, and I think maybe to a kid it's really scary, especially when you start running into the SAX throughout the ship. Like not just the first time where you see inside the visor and see the pupil and everything missing, but just in general, I don't know if it's top 10 worthy in my opinion.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to agree with Josh that maybe to a point where like. I don't, even as a kid, we were playing it, I wasn't terrified. I think if anything, I was terrified when that moment you have to run away from it and try to freeze it while you're trying to run away. Cause that's like stressful moment. But I don't think it's that scary. I don't even think it's top 20 to be honest.
But I mean, just think like there's that first moment where it comes out of the hatch and like it does the eye thing, like you mentioned, that's pretty scary. But yeah, that first moment where you're like, cause I think every other Metroid game before that, the only time you ever ran is like when the planet's destroyed and you're off on your own. Like you're like, I gotta get out of here. This was like the first time where like you ran into something you could not beat and you had to run. And it kind of, I don't know, it fucked with you. Like Metroid Dread last year, Josh, did they have Samus X back, or was it just the robots? I forget their names.
Yeah, it was not Samus X. Samus X not back. It was the creatures that raised her. I can't remember the damn names now.
Yeah, but they were like, because they got taken control of.
Because they got turned into the same thing because the X was back, or the X Parasite was back.
Like, because I think of like those areas, and I think of like sneaking through those areas is kind of scary, but nowhere near the SAX. I'll drop it. You guys obviously aren't for it, but I thought that was.
So I agree that when you're running, it's scary because, like Jake said, it's stressful. If anything, for now we can leave it at 10, but I know for a fact that it's going to get removed. If we're
going to remove it, why even?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm just saying. Like we could if you wanted, but to me, it's just not up there.
I'm crossing.
I can think of 10 other things. Cross that shit out.
It's going. All right, Jake, indulge us.
I got you. Batman Arkham Knight, the Man-Bat encounter.
Oh God, that is scary. Okay, so build it up for those who don't know the Man-Bat encounter.
So I believe I haven't even played the game, to be honest. I just remember seeing it in lists. But I think you're just like randomly flying around, doing Batman stuff, and you happen to come across a building, and Man-Bat's right there. He like unexpectedly just kind of like tries to swipe at you.
He like screams right in your face too, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
And then you have to chase him down.
I think it's a scary moment. I think it's a jump scare that like they do it once, and I think they try to do it again with the Joker later on.
They actually do it several times throughout, and previously, even they did it a couple times with some of the other characters. So it was like it's just more of a jump scare than really it is like a. Once again, it's more of a jump scare, and even then, after the first time, it's not so much of a scary moment. It's just more like, oh fuck, what now? Whatever you were trying to do, it turned into now you're doing something else.
I think if there's a scary moment in the Arkham series at all, I think it's split between being in Killer Croc's lair, trying to avoid him, and then I think that might be it.
Scarecrow's probably up there.
The Scarecrow stuff's pretty scary too. I think I'd go Killer Croc over Scarecrow because I think those Arkham games did a lot. Or did the same scare over and over again, whereas the Killer Croc was only in that area. You weren't messing with anything like that ever again.
Yeah,
I don't think Man-Bat makes the cut.
Okay, I tried Man-Bat. He never wanted to be Man-Bat anyway.
Maybe next time, Man-Bat. Josh, what you got?
I don't have a particular instance because in general it's such you have to bring it up. I'm gonna do an easy one, just knock it out. Is
Son of a bitch.
Silent Hill PT. Lisa.
Are you the only one that's played Silent Hill PT?
No, I thought Jake said he came over and played.
Yeah,
it.
I played it too. I played it too.
So what is so scary about Lisa?
No,
because it just seems like it's this motherfucker is just floating around, just trying to scare you. And
so I mean, it to an extent, yes, you are right. It's basically so those who don't know, Lisa is essentially the antagonist or the ghost in all of Silent Hill PT and what would have been the actual game. That was Norman Reedus before he went over to Death Stranding because Konami and Kojima had a falling out.
Mom and dad got divorced.
Yeah, mom and dad got divorced, and they did not want to share custody. So essentially, Lisa is the ghost following you the whole time, and then you're going around this whole this house basically, and it just keeps you running back loop and loop and loop, and it gets like creepier and darker and gets messed up. Like it's left such a print. The demo has left such a print on the gaming community. I can't tell you how many games followed it in its steps. I mean, even like the Blair Witch Project. There's a couple of indie games that came out that just started to follow it because it was so good. But
how long did it take to beat PT?
It wasn't very long. I think you could run it. I think you could run through it in like 15 minutes, but if you sat down and went through all of the stuff, it was like an hour.
I'd be willing to keep it just because how long this is almost 10 years ago now. And it was basically a proof of concept, but people still will not shut the fuck up about it.
And they're still finding things from it. Like people have extracted data from it and show things. Like the biggest thing that they revealed is the whole time Lisa doesn't disappear. Like when you see her, so she's behind you the whole time. The whole time.
So I wonder because Capcom. Some people believe that Capcom was like, oh, we got to do first person after PT was shown, but I think Capcom was already working on Resident Evil 7, like right around the same time as PT. I do wonder because that and Remake 2 have not the Nemesis system, but what's the system called where the creature's trying to hunt you down?
Mr. X.
Well, it's called Mr. X, but like the way it's programmed, where they're like roaming the halls with you.
Oh, I don't know.
I wonder if they had something like that in mind for Lisa, where like she was like, if the PT had ever become a big actual game, like she was like present at all times throughout the game. Josh is doing his research. I think PT do your research. I think PT can stay for now.
That's just the thought, because I was gonna bring that up too. It's just Mr. X and the Resident Evil 2 remake. Like just hearing him walking around the police station, not even in the same room as you, is terrifying.
Hearing those,
because he's coming.
Well, and I remember before Remake 2 came out, like people were very on the fence about it. Like people were like, "Oh, this is like, why are they doing this? Why Capcom? Like, come on!" And then it came out and like it blew the doors away. And I think, like once you get past the police station, the game is nothing. Like William Birkin's Who, because you were terrified of Mr. X the entire time.
Yeah, I hated fighting Mr. X like on the elevator.
I did too, but I think with Claire's campaign, it made it a little better because he came back. That the whole when you finally get back to Sherry, and all you hear is thump thump, and she's like, ah! And she screams, and you turn around, and it's Mr. X, and you have like you can only go down the hallway, and you don't know what's gonna happen. Like that shit scared me. I will admit that much. That part like made me jump a little bit.
All right, so I vote on Lisa and Mr. X staying for right now. Moving down my list, you guys remember this little? It's not an indie gem, but you remember this little gem, Condemned Criminal Origins?
I do. I know exactly which part you're bringing up.
I know what you're talking about.
So basically, the game is first person, like beat 'em up. It's very grungy, very dirty. You're a detective investigating a serial killer. You go into a department store, and there's this whole scene with like moving mannequins, and like there's a point where like actual mannequins are moving, and then there are people dressed like mannequins. Like you're walking down an aisle, and you see a mannequin person walk by, and it's this whole scene of just like fucking mannequins are scary, okay? And just for them to play with that, like this is a great game. 16 years old, and you basically beat a mannequin to death. And so many scares in this. It was the dumbest thing, the dumbest, scariest thing. But I beat a mannequin to death with a pencil or a paper cutter, paper cutter blade. It doesn't have to stay. I just thought it was worth bringing up.
No, it's definitely a good one. I mean, Jake, what do you think?
For the mannequins, yeah. I mean, like, because you're in the mall, right?
No, it's not a mall. I thought it was.
I think it's like a little. It's kind of a mall. It's more of a department store, I think.
I'd say it's like a mini mall almost.
I think going through the back.
I sort of seen that and like just not wanting to play the game after that. I'm just like, nope.
It's creepy. I'm out. It's creepy. I'll add one more to that. The fear ladder scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because Alma is a scary little girl, and you go down to climb a ladder, and you know when you're climbing down a ladder in a game normally, that's like your safety safe. You're safe. No one's gonna hurt you. But you turn around, she's fucking standing right there. Oh my god. I need to replay.
Isn't it like? Don't you find out that that's like your mom or something?
Yeah, you find out in 3 that it's your mom, and the serial killer that you're hunting down in 1 is actually your brother. It's
very anime of them.
Yes, very anime.
Don't you work together to kill her at one point? But you're different.
Number two, but you're a different person.
Okay, yeah. That was close.
Yeah,
that was close.
There's nothing, none of that in there. No.
But you know what? With all the Rick and Morty and House of the Dragon stuff, it would fit in right now if it were the case. Fear. Get on. Hey guys. Hey Monolith. Get back on Fear. I think we can cut both of those. I think those are just worthy of bringing up.
Yeah, they're just tidbits. It's not like really scary. Like let's make it clear though. I think if it's just 1 or 2 jump scares, it shouldn't count because it's just jump scares. They're not really scary.
I think if it's an effective jump scare, it can be on the list. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but it has to be very effective.
Yeah, I think if it's effective, it can be on the list. That's what I said.
You know what, Jake? Bring up your next one. I want you to beat Nick.
I got you. So when you're about to drown in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh.
Can I add on to that then?
That music playing.
The music up there, but the one I was thinking is in Sonic CD, that creepy Easter egg face.
No one's played Sonic CD.
No one's played Sonic CD though.
You're the only one. Saying. You're the only one that's out here standing for Sonic CD.
You guys need to branch out, be more cultured.
Oh, we're very cultured over here, Josh. I just brought up Fear and Condemned Criminal Origin.
Ooh, do Xbox 360 games. Look at you go.
Oh yeah, very cultured over here. I think it can stay for now. We'll probably find 10 other things, maybe. I don't know, but it can stay for now.
I'm gonna shoot my shot right now.
All right, let's see the shot.
The Xenomorphs in Alien Isolation. Just in general.
Oh my god, that's getting on the list. You know it is. That's not shooting your shot.
Well, exactly. My shit's getting on the list because I'm naming them before you guys.
That's not how this works.
Did you know this about the Xenomorphs though? So if you're wearing a mic or you're playing on the PS4 with the built-in mics to your controller, they can actually hear you. If you're talking to somebody or doing something and it picks up on that mic, that's actually how you die early. Like when you're hiding and all of a sudden they find you and you're like, what the hell? That's how they found you.
I did not know this, but I'm not going to wear a mic. I'm not going to have my mic on when playing this.
No, but if you have a PS4 controller and you're playing on the PlayStation, you don't have much of a choice.
I'm taping over that shit. It.
They'll find you.
It's one of the scariest monsters ever created. Of course, it's making the list right now. All right, here's one. You son of a bitch. The Witcher 3, The Crones.
Yes, I have to agree. That shit is terrifying.
And you go back. You think everybody knows The Witcher 3. There's a scene involving, it's not the Red Baron, it's the Red something. I forget what he's called. But his wife's been kidnapped by these crones. And there are these disgusting witches that live in the woods. And they're terrifying. Like one's got like body parts hanging from her neck. Another one's just like this big lady wearing like a honey pot over her face. If you haven't seen the crones from Witcher 3, go ahead and look it up. It's fucking terrifying. But there are a bunch of children they have with them, and you're going to fight this old spirit that they hate, who I think is like their mother or something, or their father. And basically the choices you make either kills the woman you're trying to save, or they end up killing the children that you're trying to save from the local village. that whole south, what is that, the southeast region of that map, terrifying as fuck.
Yeah, I got you. Definitely it's good. That's good. Okay.
I'm adding it to the list. You guys keep on going. I gotta go close the door real quick.
Yep. Jake, go ahead. What do you got?
I got Five Nights at Freddy's when Foxy's rushing down the hall. You ever seen that? Okay. You ever experienced that?
I have experienced that. That's honestly, just about anything chasing you down the hall. Honestly, just about all the death scenes and all the Five Nights at Freddy's. That, and then I would say even the VR shit. All that shit is up there. Is that?
Because because when you see Foxy running down the hall, on the camera, you have 1 second to close that damn door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say it's definitely up there as it needs to be on the list, but really all of Five Nights at Freddy's can be on the list as for top scary moments because there's just so much. I mean, there's a reason it's grown to what it is.
And even just reading on how they actually kill you and like the reason for them killing you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there's a reason why they have all their books. They have all their merchandise. I think there's still talks of a movie. I could be wrong on that. I mean, they made a staple in the franchise, and it's one of those games people don't shut up about, or one of the franchises people don't shut up about. It's up there for sure.
You hear all that, Nick?
Is this Five Nights at Freddy's the hallway jump?
Yeah.
No, it's not the hallway jump. It's when you see Foxy running down the hall on the camera, coming to you, and you have a second to close the damn door before Foxy gets you.
Foxy. I'm gonna have to look this one up.
Terrifying.
I'll look it up, but I will take you. If you guys think it should stay for now, I agree.
Well, like I said, really all Five Nights at Freddy's, but just for this particular one, I would say for sure stay because there's a lot of moments in the franchise that just really gets to you. Even if you know it's coming, it still gets to you. Yeah, and that's one of them for sure.
I personally haven't played it, but I've seen people play it, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
How about the Laura scenes in The Evil Within?
I have not played that. You're gonna have to sell me.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to sell me on this.
Okay, so essentially it's like the beginning of the game essentially where you're like walking through, I believe it's one of the mental hospital or the mental hospital itself, but you're walking through and you kind of see like a human face come out of a dark puddle, and then all of a sudden you see hands come up and they're like, they've got claws and stuff. You're like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden you've got 4 more limbs that come out, and she chases you down the hallway, and the doors are locked and shit.
Yeah, and the game gives you no time to process what you just seen.
Yeah, well, literally, you are immediately put into a chase scene and running for your life.
Is she in both of them?
No, just the first one.
You sure? I'm pretty sure I've heard that she's like, I haven't played the game. I'm aware of the character.
Oh, okay, so she might be based. So I haven't played all of 2, but I think she's based off of the mother.
Okay.
So I think she does come back and she's like a final boss fight in 2.
I don't know. I think because this list, like, I think she can get cut personally because I think this list is going to be a lot of like, oh, this scary monster chasing you. Like, we've already got Lisa and Mr. X. I know we're going to probably talk about Pyramid Head, Lisa Trevor, or the Crimson Heads.
Well, I mean, so do we just knock all those out now then? Say none of them? Because
no, we can keep coming back to them. Like, I think the ones that resonate the most with people. I just don't see Lisa, like, when comparing her to like the Pyramid Heads of the world.
Okay, so if we're gonna argue with it at that point, I think with Crimson Heads they should be knocked off the list too, because those, I mean, you know, like, you're right. The first time it scares the shit out of you. After that, you know what to look for.
Well, I think Crimson Heads would go over her because, and here's why. The first Resident Evil, Crimson Head's not a thing. This time around, like, so in the remake, in the original Resident Evil remake, you say that 10 times fast, they don't really spell that out for you. Yeah, they do the one in the coffin that's considered kind of like a mini boss, but you don't really have any idea that, oh, hey, you know that zombie in the first room that you killed? If you didn't decapitate him or burn his body, that motherfucker's coming back. Add on to the fact that these zombies can now, like, if you leave the room and get away, they can now bust through that door and chase you. I think that's terrifying, especially because they were playing with expectations there. Like your expectations were like, okay, I kill this zombie, it's gone. I go out the room, it's gone. I think the combination of zombies being able to go into the next room and then also that they can reanimate again and be faster, deadlier, and basically be like hunters is terrifying.
I think you're the tiebreaker.
For Laura?
Well, just in general, like as far as like, do we bring them up? Like, is that? I mean, Crimson Heads. Okay, so Laura, fine, we can knock her out. But Crimson Heads, do you agree that they should be?
They shouldn't. No, they shouldn't be in there.
You guys suck.
I got another one. How about the Kana Canyon in Majora's Mask?
Is that the one with the dead popping?
The dead. Up? Yep. You got the eerie music. You got the mummies. Yeah, the fucking moon.
I got so the moon. Yeah. Thanks, Jordan, for that little heads up.
I mean, I think if you're picking anything from Majora's Mask,
I mean, you could literally pick all of Majora's Mask because really, it's just the visuals alone is pretty fucking terrifying. But then when you get into the nitty gritty of it all, it's a pretty fucking scary game.
Well, and I think if you're picking like the scariest part, I think the eel den that you have to go into to get those Zora eggs, pretty fucking terrifying.
And the fucking mask on in general. I mean, that shit is like, why?
But yeah,
why do we have to, like it's all fucking black and white? Like, what the fuck?
Nintendo is like, hey, we basically have this engine we already built. Let's just fucking fuck around. But I could see a Kana Canyon making it.
I mean, how they made a creepy pasta about the damn game. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, Ben Drown.
Yeah, Ben Drown.
I can see that.
I got another one real quick. What about Lisa Trevor?
I mean, Lisa Trevor's scary. I think personally, like, I think she's more sad and tragic than scary, especially once you've had like read her file and everything. I personally think the scariest thing in the original Resident Evil is Crimson Heads, but we've already voted them out.
Yep. Okay. I got another quick one. Getting caught by Slender.
Oh, that is a good one.
Well, so I was gonna bring him up actually. Just the original game, the 8 pages.
Yeah, not the longer one.
Yeah, no,
not Arrival. But then again, Arrival. There's more scary things in Arrival than there is in just Slender alone.
So yeah, no, I agree. I do agree that there's more scary, but there's something about just playing the original, putting some headphones on, and playing in the dark, and just going through, and just all of a sudden you're in the bathrooms. You grab a page, you walk out. All of a sudden you see him in the distance. He's staring at you, and your screen starts to go static. You're like, oh fuck! So you turn around and you walk in a different direction. And all of a sudden he's right around the corner, looking at you. Like, it procedurally generated enough that it's every time I feel like it's scary.
The bathroom, like going into the maze or the bathroom or whatever it was.
Yeah, the bathroom maze, yeah, like especially towards the end where like he's already pretty fucking close, and you're like down to like your last page or two, and like if you're not careful, he could be waiting for you in the bathrooms.
I could see him staying for right now.
He could definitely stay.
I've got off the beaten path one that I didn't bring up earlier. The Carl Stuckey moment in Alan Wake.
I don't know. I never actually played it.
So Alan Wake, basically the first area I think is like a lumberyard, and the guy, the not the landlord, but like the guy who runs the mill, basically gets possessed, and he's haunting you through the mill the entire time. And like he says, he says his name, Carl Stuckey, and he says it over and over. It's just terrifying. I mean, it doesn't have to stay, but I thought that's something that stood out from Alan Wake, because Alan Wake's more of the Twin Peaks. It's more the Twin Peaks horror, or it's very Stephen King.
Well, if we're gonna stay on the beaten, like the offbeat path, Black Ops 3's Weeping Angels Easter egg. I know, so I'm not saying it should be on the list. I'm just bringing it up as like a for an Easter egg. That's a very interesting one to go with. You know what I mean? Especially for a first-person shooter multiplayer, especially.
Let's say goodbye to both.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But I'm just saying for being an Easter egg though, or for being for a one-off for a game that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's interesting.
I'm cutting it, Josh. Goodbye.
That's fine.
The Flood in Halo.
No.
You don't think of that? They're not scary that first time they pop up?
Maybe in legendary mode.
They're terrifying.
No, I don't think they're that terrifying.
Okay, fine. How about this one? Walking into the Death Claw hive, or the lair.
Just Death Claws
Sanctuary.
Well, especially walking into the Death Claw lair in Fallout 3.
Wait, there's one in 3? I'm thinking of the one
in
New Vegas.
Yeah, I thought
the
there
one
was,
in 3, it's the Death Claw Sanctuary.
Okay. Yeah, I think Death Claw, anything involving a Death Claw, especially a Sanctuary, terrifying. I think there's a scarier part of Fallout 3. I forget the name of the factory, but there's that factory in the southwest corner of the map that is very fucking haunted.
It's not the Nuka-Cola one, right?
It might be the Nuka-Cola one.
Because I thought there was one where you go through, and at the end of it, once you like survived all, you get like 3 Nuka-Cola Quantums.
Maybe it's been a little bit, and I can't play Fallout 3 on Steam because that version is trash.
What you're saying is you have to buy a 360 or find the 360 copy and play it on your Xbox One,
basically. But yeah, I mean, I could see Death Claws the first time you run into a Death Claw, let alone I couldn't imagine someone's first time with Fallout 3 they run into that accidentally.
Well, I'm not saying they walk into it accidentally, but if you've never ran into a Death Claw, don't know what a Death Claw is, you're like, oh, Death Claw Sanctuary, I wonder what this is. You walk in and you're welcomed by, 5 of them, like, bye.
What is a Death Claw? Like, what creature was it? Was it a cat? For those who don't know, if you know the movie Pumpkinhead, it's like a big fucking clawy, like, quad freaking Pumpkinhead.
I thought they were genetically engineered.
Maybe. I couldn't tell you. I'm not up to date on my Fallout lore.
Yeah, I thought they were genetically engineered, but they're basically like, imagine a lion, but bigger with horns.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of the Pumpkinhead. I'm thinking more of a Pumpkinhead, like Nick was saying.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead's scary.
That's fair. That's fair.
Pumpkinhead is scary. Death Claws in general can stay for now. So let's see. Let me read back the list. I know we still got some more to go through. We've got Lisa from PT, Mr. X from Resident Evil 2, remakes more specifically, Sonic Drowning, Alien Isolation, the Xenomorph, the Crones from The Witcher 3, Five Nights at Freddy, Foxy Running Through the Hall, Icona Canyon from Majora's Mask, Slender from Slender, and Death Claws from Fallout 3 more specifically.
So I've also have considered like games that aren't like story based or single player based. So like I guess any killer encounter from Dead by Daylight.
I threw that in there as well. I almost considered like not throwing in there, but I also then thought about like Phasmophobia in general, like because there's not like specific moments you can name out because it's all different.
It's all generated.
Well, not only is it all generated, but like it's different. Like with Dead by Daylight, you got different killers with different abilities, different characters, different abilities, and then you got Phasmophobia where it's gonna be different every time. There's not 2 same playthroughs except for maybe location.
Like I can't tell you how many times I played Dead by Daylight and someone's playing Michael Myers, and he has an ability where if he like stalks you, he levels up. He levels up and goes faster. But like sometimes you can't see where he's like watching you, and sometimes you're not paying attention.
You just hear the music though, don't you? Yeah.
Not if he's far away.
Yeah, no, but if he's close enough,
if you leveled up, your heartbeat will go off if he's closer to you. But like he can stalk you from really far away, and there's moments where I've actually seen him looking at me from a distance, and all I see is this dumb white mask. I'm like, oh shit, this is terrifying.
I'll write down being hunted for right now. I think as far as Phasmophobia goes, I think you could say the same for both, like the process of being hunted, or in Phasmophobia specifically, like when you're eventually grabbed by the ghoulie, and you're like screaming, and then like you're grabbed, and you're like, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put being hunted for both of them for now.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
I was also thinking of games like Ark, where like something in the wilderness just happens to come at you or whatever, you don't see it coming. Like, for example, I remember being in the swamp area, not paying attention, and all of a sudden I get bit by a giant snake.
I just don't think that's scary. I think that's more suspenseful.
So you're telling me if you hopped on Ark and you weren't paying attention, you saw a giant snake.
I go, oh fuck, but that's not scary. That's like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. It's panic.
I think the better scare of that is like wandering around in Minecraft and like like seeing the purple glow of the Enderman's eyes, or like being in the dark cave and hearing what are the zombies called in Minecraft again?
Zombies?
Are they just
Zombies?
zombies? Is it that simple? Is it that simple?
Yeah, it's that simple.
But the like hearing like the low gravelly growl.
I would say even just hearing the lighting of the matches on the creepers. That's, you know, oh fuck.
Well, I mean, like Ark has a lot of other things. Like, for example, they have caves, and they have like these lizards that kind of blend in to the ceiling that will just drop down on you, that you can kind of see before you like walk past them, and you're like, oh shit, he's waiting for me. They have giant spiders in those caves, these giant poison ass centipedes in these caves. Fucking terrifying. Or if you encounter
what's the one where like even after it's happened 100 times, you're like, oh fuck.
Maybe encountering a T-Rex because it yells right in your fucking face.
I could go for the T-Rex. I'm thinking of like the things where it's happened over and over, like, you know, the zombie thing happens, right? Okay, there's a zombie nearby, I gotta be careful. The creeper thing happens and you kind of get more annoyed after a while because you're like, something's about to get fucking blown up. But yeah, if the T-Rex is something that like over and over again, you're like, fuck.
Maybe over and over again, it would probably either be the Titan boas, the poison snakes, because once it bites you, it can knock you out and kill you instantly.
Well, this isn't the first time I've heard you bring up the Titan boas, so I could see that making the cut for now.
And then there are these crocodiles that will leap out of the water and snatch you and just drag you.
I don't fuck with crocs. Josh, you're silent. What's going on here?
I'm just looking for my next one. That's all. I have my huge list, and I'm just.
They also have sharks in the game, and they have kraken. I never encountered the kraken, but I'm sure that'd be terrifying.
I'm gonna need you to narrow it down to one, Jake.
I would probably go with the Titan boas.
Titan boa. Okay. What you got, Josh?
Okay, so this next one, I just want your guys' opinion. So, Outlast and its DLC, The Whistleblower.
The Groom.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Groom. The Groom is fucking terrifying. Yeah.
Just because of what he's about to do to you, the fact that you've seen him do it to other people.
So for those who don't know, in the DLC Whistleblower, you are essentially a different character from the main story who's trying to escape the same facility and is being hunted down. And the one particular one who hunts down is the Groom. The Groom is looking for the perfect bride. The problem? He's surrounded by men. His solution? He's going to make you real pretty.
With what tool, Josh?
It's a saw, isn't it?
It's a hacksaw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, and it's going to hack, baby.
If I remember correctly, there's one scene where he basically said, here's a part where he's like, he describes exactly what he's going to do to you in detail.
Yeah, I think the Groom can stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Okay, so I've got the Groom written down. I've got a few from a series right here that I'm going to name off.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the Last of Us series. Pittsburgh from the first Last of Us. So Pittsburgh, there are clickers and everything. But I think the scariest part of Pittsburgh is that you're being chased by criminals, by outlaws in a Jeep. And that's at the point where you've met up with the guy and his brother. And they're basically riding down the suburban street as clickers are coming for you. The truck is coming for you. Terrifying. It's also a very frustrating part of the game. From The Last of Us 2, the first time you enter the subway in Seattle, and you're in a cross section between the Fireflies and the clickers, and I think it's also the other unit is there, the whistling unit. I forget who they are. But the lights go out in the subway, like it's all red. You hear people being torn apart by clickers. You can use the two factions against each other. It's still terrifying because you're in these subways and like there's people around every corner. And then my last one for the series is the Rat King from The Last of Us 2. It's probably the scariest thing in The Last of Us 2. You're in the hospital. I forget the other girl's name, the one that everyone hates because she was too muscular. I thought she was great. Not Abby. No, it is Abby. I think it is Abby.
Sure.
But you're going through the hospital looking for stuff to help somebody, and you end up in a pit. And the Rat King is basically, you know how like the rats, like a Rat King is rats stuck together by their tails and everything. This Rat King is basically clickers and dead people stuck together into this giant amorphous blob. And it chases you through the hospital for a little bit, and then you end up having to fight it. I think it's the only true boss fight in the series, if I remember correctly. But this thing is disgusting. If you look at a picture of it, it's awful. And the chase is awful. I think it's more quick time than anything. But this thing is just disgusting looking. It really catches you off guard because you're used to just fighting people and then like the random clicker here or there. I think the Rat King can stand on this list. Just from that scene. It's a quick little 10-minute scene, but it's like it
leaves an impression.
It leaves an impression because you're like, oh wow, they could like when they do part 3 eventually, they could really go places.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think Lisa. The Rat King can stay.
All right. How about the Dead Space 2 diagnostic machine?
Is that the eye thing?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it stays.
Yeah, because no matter what, that does not get easy. I mean, succeeding and failing both, it's fucking terrible. Just the fact that you're going to shove this huge fucking needle through your eye in general.
I'm just going to write needle. I've got one I just thought of. The first time it turns to night in Dead Rising 1.
Not really.
You kidding me?
I never thought Dead Rising was like a horror game.
Dude, I always took it as like a funny spinoff to was it Land of the Dead?
I think Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. He was one of them.
Now Dead Rising, if anything's scary, it's that cult.
Yeah, when did they start popping up? Day 2? I don't remember exactly.
I think it's day 2. I think it's day 2. Night day 2, I believe.
But just I think the first time it turns night is scary because the zombies become more aggressive. Their eyes turn red. It seems like there's a lot more of them too.
Not a top 10.
Here's the more scary part. How the hell did the whole population of the town get in that mall? That's the true scary thing.
It was the center of their town. That's all the town of what was it, Williamette or something like that? That's all they had.
Welcome to Iowa.
Welcome to Dubai.
I'm just saying between that and 2, like 3 it makes sense because you're spanned across the whole entire, basically the whole city. Where in 1 and 2, you're in like one central location and somehow the whole entire population appears there over time. Like, especially with it being locked down. Like, I'm sorry, that's hard to believe.
Okay, we can get it.
I'm just saying. That's the true scary thing.
Fuck you guys. I've got another creature.
Okay.
Actually, I've got 2 Resident Evil 4 ones right here. The first time you enter the village and hear the chainsaw, like near the very beginning, and then the regenerator.
Regenerator, yes. Chainsaw, probably not. Because once you go through the game over and over again, it's not really scary. Whereas the generator, it gives me nightmares.
I know, but I'm talking. I mean, that first time, like that whole open section, like I'm dreading just having to replay it when the remake comes out next year.
So, well then, if we're gonna say based on current standards, I would say 8 Village stands on better grounds because that scene is a lot scarier. You're surrounded by fucking Lycan.
Oh,
for Christ's sake.
The opening, and then like the giant one comes out at you.
Yep, and like you're running throughout the whole entire village trying to fend them off. Like that to me is a lot more scary because with 4, you can like literally you could go up to the little tower right there and climb up and down it without even bothering fighting anybody. Where when you do Village, you have to fight. You don't have there is no rhyme or reason. You're basically fighting for your life.
Have you played all of 8?
Yeah.
What's scarier, the opening or the dollhouse?
I think the opening. And I think it's just more of it's because it's frantic. Where the dollhouse, it's
I mean, I hear a lot of things about the dollhouse. Like people really think it's the scariest part of that game.
For the first time through, I would agree it's probably scarier, but for long lasting, I still think the opening village scene is the scariest. And that's just because it's that, and then I would say even the end when you're spoil it for those who haven't played it.
Oh,
well, especially with the expansion coming out, when you play as Chris and his team, and you're basically fighting through the village to get to the main baddie. I can't remember her name now off the top of my head.
Marissa or something like that, or
something like that. Yeah, but when you're fighting through the village to get to her, that's because it's dark, and then all of a sudden some of the houses are catching on fire, and you're fighting lichens left and right. It can get terrifying.
Okay, I'm adding Regenerator and Village to this list. Let's do rapid fire for what's left, and then we're gonna start ticking things off from what we have here. I've got 3 more that I want to mention by name.
Okay.
The mirror room in Silent Hill 3. The mirror, it goes red and it's like bleeding and it won't let you out of the room.
And then you die. Yeah, I remember that one.
It's creepy, maybe more annoying than creepy. The spider in Limbo, or more specifically, just like once Limbo starts getting weird.
As you get darker into the cavern or to the, yeah.
And then Pyramid Head. Jake just doesn't get scared. Jake might be the wrong person for this episode.
All right, Jake.
Yeah,
what do you got?
I'm not really that scared.
Jake, draw 3 more. Come on, what do you got?
I got the encounters with Jack in Resident Evil 7. Going through that wall randomly.
The Kool-Aid Man. I mean, I would say the staircase is scarier.
Wheelchair Lady is scarier.
You think so?
Just because, like,
It's just scared of old people.
The first time you come out of the basement and like you go to turn the corner. Ooh, I just threw my pen.
She's right there.
And she's right there, and you're like, holy fucking shit! Who's moving you?
All right, Jake. What else?
I'm gonna say the blind guys in Resident Evil 4.
The blind guys.
Oh, the Ravenclaw guys. You have to shoot their back. There's their weak spot.
Oh, they've got like the head on.
Yeah.
And they're blind.
I feel like they're blind, and they're not scary because they're blind, but they're scary. But I think the Regenerator is the better.
But I want to say a moment where you're trapped, when you fall into that trap,
that pit early in the castle.
The guy. No. The one where the chest, there's a treasure chest in the middle, and all of a sudden a cage drops. Oh, and then you have these guys coming down.
Yeah, they drop one in there with you, along with a bunch of the cultists.
Yeah, I completely forgot about those guys.
It's like right after you run into Ada and you have a conversation with her.
Yeah, or the right hand man.
Oh, the Vertigo or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
I could see that being added for right now. Do you have a third, Jake?
Well, I mean, that was like 4.
Oh, that was yeah. Okay, yeah. You know what? Stop being sneaky. No more.
No more sneaky for Jake. I don't really. I mean, really, we've just named about everything I could think of. Like maybe the introduction to the liquors.
Yeah,
I know it's because it's up there with Hunters. Even like it's scary maybe the first time, but after that, it's their basic mechanic at that point. You know what I mean?
Hunters and Liquors always felt like an afterthought in both Resident Evil 1 and 2.
Yeah, I just think they were like, oh, we need to find a variation of this. Oh, let's do this. Okay, yeah, because we have the dogs and the zombies and some crows. Yeah, let's throw in some weird ape-looking things, and I don't even know what the technically liquors are.
Those both felt like someone really enjoyed the dog scare, which we haven't even met. I'm adding the dog scare to the list for now, but it could come off. I don't think anything tops that dog scare as far as regular
normal.
Yeah, between those two games.
What about I'm gonna butcher their names, the Wendigo from Until Dawn.
The Wendigo. Oh, I haven't played Until Dawn, so I couldn't tell you.
So I haven't, it's been a while since I played it, but essentially they're kind of like golems, but with, actually no. So have you seen, what's that movie where they go underground and they find those people that are blind that have mutated? The Descent. Basically that. Just imagine The Descent in video game.
I'd play the Descent video game.
So essentially, like they find a nest of them, and they lure them back up into the house, and it's, you know, power's out. They're being hunted down by a serial killer, and then all of a sudden all this shit's happening. They're being surrounded by these things that are fucking climbing throughout the walls and jumping at them, and they can only sense them by sound, I believe. I'm just throwing it out there as one. I'm not saying it has to be on the list, but I was throwing one out there. The other one I was thinking, which I've now lost it on my list, I just had it pulled up. Shoot, what was it? That's probably it, honestly. I think we've named just actually no, we didn't mention the fast zombies in Ravenholm and Half-Life too.
I'll get it on the list.
Because that really is terrifying. So for those who don't know, in Half-Life 2, you go to Ravenholm and it's full of the crabhead zombies. You know, you're used to it. You're fine. You're like, yeah, this is fine, whatever. Well, at one point, you come across some faster ones that run at you and can climb and basically are terrifying as fuck, because not only are you trying to escape the Ravenholm, but you're doing it with them surrounding you. And there's one point I think you're on a rooftop and you climb into the elevator, go up, and they're already on the roof waiting for you.
I'm adding it to the list, but I've got another one that I think could make the list.
Okay.
Because we've all experienced it. I'm not even going to say the game name. I'm just going to be like, I'm going to say what it is. Startling the Witch.
Oh yeah.
That never gets old. Actually, I would say that, and then being jumped on by the
was he the tank?
Not the tank, the one that just jumps on you and then starts wailing on you.
Oh, the Leaper? I forget what they're called.
Oh, it is Leaper, I believe.
But you guys know what I'm talking about, because no matter what you do, you could see, like, you couldn't even see him coming. It's just all of a sudden you're being tackled, and it scares the shit out of you because you weren't prepared for it. Like, they're the only one, in my opinion, that truly scare you, because once they've got you, you're screwed. Where, like, if a smoker gets you or a boomer, like, you can get around them. That's fine.
So I was kind of looking up some random ones in like non-horror games, but seeing a picture of this looks terrifying. And I'm not sure if you guys ever played this game, Subnautica.
Oh, the eel in Subnautica, or not the eel?
The Ghost Leviathan.
Yeah, it looks scary. I just don't think any of us have any experience with it that we can really speak
about.
And this is, at the end of the day, this is our list, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's true. It's our list. I mean, they can judge us all they want.
I've got one.
All right, last one. I've
got 2 Nintendo related ones.
Okay, this is your last one. The Jake gets one more, and then if I have one more, I'll do it. And that's it.
Okay, so the sun levels in Mario where the sun chases you. And then any of the boss fights in the first Pikmin game. So you got the giant bird, you got the giant mushroom guy. Terrifying stuff. Josh was looking up the bird.
I actually am. Shut up.
The bird.
The bird.
D your bird.
All right, Jake, what's your last one?
Oh, come back to me.
Okay, I'll do mine. I don't have a well, there's one particular moment I'm thinking of, but in a whole, Doki Doki Literature Club.
Josh,
you're creepy as fuck.
You're gonna have to be specific for everybody. It's very niche.
Okay. So for those who don't know, Doki Doki Literature Club is a text-based game, a visual novel. It starts out fine, like you're part of a literature club and you're like working with these girls, and like you can like work together and you can actually make them fall in love with you and stuff. But throughout the game, there's something wrong with the girls. They start to get a little creepier. And there's one particular, her name is, I think it's Noki. She's talking to you and you like romance her a little bit. And she gives you like a poem, and it doesn't make any sense. It's like all gibberish. And she starts to explain like what it is. And it's basically her like professing her love to you and wondering why you don't give her enough attention and why you're like giving all these other girls attentions. And as it's happening, it gets more ominous, it gets darker. And then she like looks at you, her eyes go black, and she snaps her neck and just like runs at you. And that's the end. But in general, it's creepy because all girls do different stuff. One kills herself. One is found dead. One goes missing. It's a really dark, creepy game. And there's multiple endings, and they release multiple versions of it to add more content. They're working towards a new game actually, and it's supposed to it's like its whole universe. It looks really good. Highly recommend it.
All right. I mentioned this one before, but the Serial Killer's Den in Red Dead Redemption 2. Basically, it's when you get to the den, you find like a bunch of bodies and blood and shit. And when you inspect the knife, the killer comes by and knocks you down and starts monologuing.
And as they do.
As they do.
Yeah, as they do. And then you can throw a head at them to stagger them and kill them. But just the den itself is creepy.
I would say the night folks are probably more creepier than
Are the night folks the swamp people who like jump you?
Yeah, like you go to help the one girl and then they all of a sudden jump you. Yeah.
Man, I got into New Bordeaux, or not New Bordeaux, whatever the southern city is after you take care of like the feuding families after you lose you have an Irish guy on your team and he gets killed and then you go to their mansion and kill them all. And after I haven't played since then. It's probably been 4 years.
I think I remember the day it came out because I think you were playing it at Thanksgiving. You were so excited about it.
So I had sold my Xbox before it came out, and then I think I bought a PS4 that November to play it or something like that. I was excited. I need to go back and beat it. I don't think either of those make the cut though, Jake.
Yeah.
All
right, guys, we have a lengthy list here to cut down. We got to cut down to 10 and we got to get them ranked. And we're going to do it tonight.
Okay, so let's read them off all again, and then we'll start with 10.
Here's what we'll do. Since we've got a handful, we'll read them off, and if we'll be like, if it's one that you propose and you're like, I don't think that's gonna make it, just cut it. Okay.
All right,
but if you see an argument for it, yeah, keep it. Okay. First, PT Lisa. I see that staying.
That has to stay. Yeah.
All right, so I'm putting a check mark next to it. Mr. X.
I would say stays.
Yeah.
I mean, do we want to lump in Nemesis under Mr. I don't find Nemesis scary anymore.
Not in this. Scary. His encounters are scary in the original.
I say you can keep them in there as together because it's the same system.
Okay. You know what? I think Mr. X deserves his day, so fuck Nemesis.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, you're the one that mentioned him anyway.
I know. I just wanted to be devil's advocate. Sonic Drowning.
No, I'd say cut it, really.
I don't think it's number 10.
We have so many.
It's not 10 material. Yeah. The Xenomorph from Alien Isolation.
Yes.
I mean, I think it stays for now.
I want to say that's a maybe.
Yeah, it might barely cut 10, but let's keep going. We can go back and remove it if worse comes worse.
The Crones from Witcher 3. I think this stays personally because the game takes such a left turn because it's just an adventure to find Ciri, and then you find yourself in the swamp on this. This isn't even a side quest. This is a mainline quest. And these women are fucking scary. But like they approach you at one point as like these beautiful women, but like you've seen their true forms before, and they're cannibals and they're eating these children, and you're basically caught in the middle. Like you're the Witcher, you don't give a shit.
How do you spell them?
The Crones. I think it's Crones, or it might be Chrones.
No, Rnes. Okay, because is this the one that was in the show?
I don't think the Crones have been in the show yet. I don't think they're gonna do I don't think they're gonna do them.
There's even a first season at the rate they're going. The
backlash. Did you hear about
bad, though? Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
So much backlash. Yeah.
we'll save it for the next episode. We'll bitch about it in the next episode. But they are terrifying, and if the music changes, like, and there's a creature that attacks with them. I forget what it's called.
Okay, so exactly. let's put a check mark by him for now, and the worst comes to worst, thing can be removed later.
All right. Up next, Five Nights at Freddy's Foxy in the Hallway.
Yeah.
All right.
You should probably watch a clip of that, Nick, so you can relate.
I'll pull it up. Iconic Canyon. I like Iconic Canyon in this list because it is I think it's one of the only non-horror game things we've got.
Okay, we'll keep it on the list just for that.
It's like one of my, like, when I get to that point in the game, I'm like looking around corners every time because I don't know what the hell is gonna happen.
I mean, I'm more terrified of the moon still, but
you stare at the moon, okay? You stare at the moon.
I do. I go to that telescope and just watch it every single time.
Let's see. The one I've got. Okay, so the canyon can stay. I think we can take Slender off just because I think Alien Isolation is an updated
Same
version
concept.
of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Death Claws.
I think they can be removed. We got to trim down the list. Take off some fat. I mean, it's scary, but it's not that scary.
The dog scene from Resident Evil. That's them jumping to. That's them jumping to the window.
I'd take it off the
Top
list.
10. Not top 10.
Not top 10. Ravenholm from Half-Life.
I mean, for now, I guess keep it on the list. But I actually don't know how many extra we had. But it's like this is gonna be end of top 10. Like it'd be probably past 10, but just as a maybe.
Okay. Startling the Witch in Left 4 Dead.
It's up there as the same with the other ones. We can keep it on there, but I don't know how much more we have to take off.
Yeah, it's okay.
I am gonna make it, and I'm lumping Leaper into that. I'm putting that there just because even though you're there playing with your buddies, like that still fucking scares you. Like it's a team scare. So
I'm not saying to remove it. I'm saying it's maybe not top 10. I just don't know how much more we have to remove.
Gotcha. Hold on. I'm watching this Five Nights at Freddy's Foxy running down the hallway. Hold on. I'm confirming. Oh shit. Oh yeah. That can stay.
Oh yeah.
It's terrifying. Yeah.
All right. And then let's see. We got a few more. Being hunted in Dead by Daylight or Phasmophobia. Or Phasmophobia.
I think that stays on there because it's
always,
I mean it's different every time.
Okay. The Titan Boa in Ark.
Nah, I mean like scarier than Resident Evil Dogs, but probably not top 10.
Yeah. All right. The Groom in Outlast.
I mean, he is terrifying, but like I said, I just don't know what fat was left to trim.
Like I want to see he's on the same list as like any other bad guy that comes in Outlast because he ends up dying anyway.
I'd put him toward. I mean, I'd put him toward. I think 10 years from now, when we're looking back at horror games, I think the Groom will stand out. Like I think the Groom, and we don't have Pyramid Head on this list because fuck Pyramid Head. I think we're beyond Pyramid Head right now. But I think the Groom, when we look back 10 years from now, will be on list with Pyramid Head.
Okay.
So I think we can keep him. I think we can cut Rat King from The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Because while it's scary, it's not really what Last of Us is going for. Especially Last of Us 2 being a vengeance tale, it feels very out of place.
I mean, let's face it, it was not enough to keep it so mainstream that they actually went back and remade one. So,
you know, I don't even know if it's actually called the Rat King or not, and we'll have to double check that.
It is.
It is called the Rat King. Yeah.
I didn't know if that was an internet given name. Dead Space 2, The Eye Needle.
It's scary, but I think we can cut it from the list.
I mean, I think it plays on a different kind of fear. Like everything else is playing on like the, oh shit, that's a scary looking thing. This is playing on, oh fuck, I don't want that to happen to my eyeball.
Yeah, body horror.
Yeah, it's playing on the body horror.
All right, keep it on the list. We're gonna have to trim more. I know.
Oh no, we're definitely gonna have to trim more. So then the bottom of this list, what's left is the Regenerator in Resident Evil 4, the Village intro in RE8, and the Vertigo.
Which one's the Vertigo again?
The right hand man for Salazar.
I think those can all be cut.
Yeah, all three of them.
Yeah, I think all three of them could be cut.
All right, goodbye Resident Evil. You had made a valiant effort there in those later stories, but fuck you. All right, so let me count out how many we got left here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got it down to 12, boys.
We got to cut 2.
We got to cut 2.
All right, so let's start from the top again.
Okay, so PT Lisa, I think PT Lisa stays.
PT Lisa stays for sure. Give her another check mark.
Like. Mr. X.
Give him another check mark.
Alien Isolation.
Another check mark.
The Crones, I say the Crones are here, guys.
I don't know.
I swear the Crones are here. Jake, hold on. Watch. There's a lot of videos to it, but just look at the like you have a general idea of how The Witcher 3 is, how it works as a game.
So before we make our arguments, how about this? So this is a maybe. Let's put a dash next to it. We're gonna pick. We'll do all the dashes. We'll see what's left, and then we'll go from there.
Five Nights at Freddy Foxy's. I think Foxy can stay because that's pretty.
Yeah, Foxy can definitely stay. That shit's terrifying.
Iconic Canyon.
Go ahead. I'd say put a dash for now.
Dash for now. Being hunted. I'm sorry. I skipped over. Ravenholm.
Dash.
Dash. Startling the Witch.
Did we keep startling the witch?
We kept startling the witch. We also kept the leaper.
No.
Cut them both?
No, yeah, just cut them. Just cut them, yeah.
Being hunted in Dead by Daylight / Phasmophobia.
Yes.
Yes.
The Groom and Outlast, I think that's a yes.
Yeah, keep him as a yes.
And the Dead Space 2 Eye Needle.
Keep that as a yes.
All right, so let me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So wait, I think by cutting the Witch and the Leaper, I think we got us down to 10.
I thought they were 1.
I separated them. I put them together, but then I separated them again.
Well, then we're good. Everything stays that we have.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so now we got to rank them. Guys, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I do think number 1 is Lisa.
Yeah, I have to agree. Lisa is like PT has left such a stamp in the horror community. There's no way you can't.
People are remaking it in the most random shit.
But I love that because honestly, if they would have kept it, that would have been. I think it would have been a game that changed the industry forever. I mean, the demo changed the industry forever. I think the game itself would have done it.
I think 10 years from now, Kojima and Konami kiss and make up, and they're like, "Hey, let's make a PT."
Well, aren't they? Isn't someone like remaking Silent Hill now?
There are a bunch of Silent
Hill 2.
There are a bunch of Silent Hill games being made right now, but we'll cross those bridges when we get to them.
Fair.
So I think we're all pretty much in agreement that Lisa's number 1. Let's look at the rest of this list. I think we can put Ravenholm at number 10.
Yeah,
because it's scary. Like the overall moment is scary.
I would say then Zelda's right in front of him. Because it's really not that, like, it's not, for what it is, it can be scary. But as far as the rest compare, it's really not that scary.
Honestly, after watching the Crones, I would put the Crones at number 10.
The Crones at number... Jake, okay, hold on. Time out. I'm going to make an argument for the Crones.
Oh my
God. Like, they're not that scary.
I can't do this anymore.
It's the atmosphere. It's Josh. You're gonna have to for a little bit longer.
I can't.
The Crones, the whole series is basically this big political mess. There's all this political stuff going on. The Witcher's just there looking for Ciri, like not really wanting to get involved in anything. And yes, like some of the monster hunts that he does are scary, but this is a mainline quest. This wasn't like an off the beaten path. Hey, we're gonna take this contract and hunt these monsters down. No, you're looking for this woman. You end up in the swamp where these children are disappearing from this nearby village. And you basically decide if the woman dies or the children dies, being eaten by these cannibals. And they're just, I mean, did you look at all 3 of them? Did you watch like a video of them moving?
I watched the video, yeah.
And then they're terrifying. And, oh man, it's just the most eerie thing because the rest of the game is like, high fantasy, very political, like, oh, we have to stop this force from doing this or this force from doing that. Oh, where's Ciri? I have to find her. And it just takes a fucking left turn and you're just like, I want to get out of this part. I'm fucking scared of this part of the game. I want out.
Now, if they showed them eating the kids, then maybe...
Time out. They show them cooking them.
I don't see that.
It's later in the game, but you see them cooking the children.
Okay, how about this, guys? Because this is obviously going to be a very compelling argument. We have a bigger list. Let's put them on pause. Let's not put them in a place yet. Let's put everything else in a place, and then we can decide where they end up on the list. Fair?
Fair. I still say Ravenholm's 10.
That's fine. Ravenholm, I agree. Ravenholm can be 10, and I think Zelda should be right behind it.
That's the argument is like that Zelda the Crones should be lower than Zelda or not. That's the argument we're having.
Jake said it should be number 10.
So Ravenholm should be number 9. Ravenholm's number 10.
Okay, we're not going to get back to this argument. So I think for now, we can agree Ravenholm was 10 for now, and Zelda's right behind it at 9 for now.
No, that's Josh. That is the argument. That is the argument. God. So let's keep Ravenholm at 10, and then we'll come back to Zelda and Crone. I feel like that's going to be the mix-up there.
The mix-up right now is Jake saying it should be 10. We have Ravenholm as 10.
Well, Jake is wrong. Let's move on.
just move on for now. We'll come back.
Where are we putting Mr. Where are we putting Mr. X?
So we have Lisa as 1, or not Lisa. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no. Okay, we have PT as 1.
PT Lisa is 1. Yeah.
Okay, so. For now, I say Mr. X is number 3.
What are you putting above it?
What are my options? No, other than the 3 we've been arguing for the past 10 minutes?
Well, the Crone should obviously be number 2.
Oh my God, just go.
Your options are, so there's Mr. X, Alien Isolation, the Crone, Foxy, Iconic Canyon. Being Hunted at number 2?
Hunted at number 2.
Yeah, I want to say Being Hunted is number 2 because that could be in any.
I mean, just from the two games that we've discussed about it, I could see that being number 2.
Yeah, I'd say number 2.
And then Mr. X number 3. Are we all in agreement?
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. Yes.
All right. So let's see. We still have Alien Isolation, the Crones, Foxy, Iconic Canyon.
I want to say
The Groom and Dead Space.
I want to say The Groom, maybe 7.
Josh, the Groom is your boy. What you got?
I think I agree with 7. That's fair. He's still on top 10, so my boy still represents.
Because like The Groom, you're always going to be in the same situation with The Groom. Whereas like Xenomorph, you can die in almost any situation. Whereas you know your fate with The Groom.
So are we saying Xenomorph is number 4?
Probably 4, yeah.
Okay.
How do you spell Xenomorph? No, I know how to spell Xenomorph.
He doesn't know how to spell Xenomorph.
I think it's ALIENS.
Yes. All right. So then what is remaining? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots to fill. 5, 6, 8, and 9. The 4 remaining are the Crones from Witcher 3, Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy, Iconic Canyon and Majora's Mask, and Dead Space 2, The Eye Needle.
I think 5 should be Foxy.
Foxy.
6 should be
No, one at a time. One at a time.
Okay, yeah, 5 Foxy for sure.
So why Foxy above the Eye Needle?
Because Foxy is kind of spontaneous.
Yeah.
Whereas the Eye Needle you can kind of control.
A little more static, whereas the Foxy is not static. It can be different every time. You're not expecting them when you're like where you know the needle's coming.
Well, then I could argue that the needle should be number 9 then.
That's fair.
Well, yeah, sure. That's fine.
Just like I know the Crones are coming too, right?
Yeah, that's. And if you played it once, you already know. That's.
I could see. You know what I think? You know what I personally think? I think the Crones are number 7 and the Groom moves up to 6.
He's trying so hard to get the Crones to be further from 10.
That's what's fun about these lists. That's what's fun about these lists. He knows
he's wrong.
He knows he's wrong, but he's like, God damn it, I want top 7. I'll take 7, guys.
I'll take 7.
Earlier, he's like, they're number 2, right? Or number 3? No, now there's 7. He'll take 7.
So the reason I want to put the Crones above Iconic Canyon, it's not a fuck you to Jake. It could be, but it's not. The reason I want them above it is because while Iconic Canyon is scary, it matches the vibe of the rest of the game. That's my whole reason, because the Crones, the section where the Crones are at, does not match anything else in The Witcher, at least on the main storyline.
So it's not that I want Iconic Canyon to be above the Crones, because I don't care if I brought that up or not. I just don't think the Crones are scary.
Have you played The Witcher 3?
Hold on. That's based on opinion, though. This is a very opinion-based list. So right now, being realistic, based on replayability.
Not replayability, no. What do you think is the scariest? This is me trying to convince you guys that.
Well, if we're gonna be honest, it's fucking Legend of Zelda, fucking kid game, guys. That should be number 10. If we're gonna be realistic right now, that should be fucking number 10, and we can't argue about that.
But
there's
Josh,
nothing
the reason
scary.
it's higher than number 10 is because if you're coming from Ocarina of Time has some scary moments, but nothing like Majora's Mask. A lot of that game is grief. A lot of that game is about grief, and you feel that in the 4 areas throughout the world, and you also feel it in Clock Town too. So saying it's a kids game, I think that's an oversimplification of the game. Because yes, at the end of the day, it's a Nintendo kids. It's a kids game, but like, there's a lot of grief in that game.
Yeah, there is, but like I said, like we're arguing over the fact of 3 ugly bitches who eat children.
Whoa, hey, let's curb that.
Wait, listen here. Oh, Nick, did you think Hocus Pocus was scary?
No, Hocus Pocus is like a campy Disney movie.
It's exactly the same thing.
No, it's not.
Wait, they ate children, didn't they? They ate their souls to live longer? Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's essentially it. I mean,
no. Look at you guys. Obviously, you both obviously haven't played The Witcher 3. You both obviously have not played it.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have 3,000 hours to spend on that, Nick.
These women are terrifying. They are terrifying.
I'm not. I'm looking at them. They're not terrifying.
Put some respect on their names. They are terrifying. It's a vibe. It's a whole vibe.
I've got to pull them up again.
It's a whole vibe. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Iconic Canyon in Majora's Mask is scary, but it matches the vibe of the rest of that game. That's the vibe. That's the vibe going in. So yes, they have a few more ghosts and like it's very creepy. It's a desert, but like they put you in a swamp and these women are eating children and they've kidnapped these children, and this woman who has run from her husband thinks this is her only way out of that relationship. And so really she's caught between this abusive husband of hers. And I didn't even bring up another scary. So the Red Baron side mission, like not the side, but like the main part. Basically his wife runs after she has a miscarriage. And there's more monster lore there, but the monster, so the lore in The Witcher is, if you don't have a proper burial for the fetus, it comes back as this monster and it's haunting this man. So you help this man by finding this monster, and he has to bury the monster, and then they take care of that. And he's like, okay, well now I want to find my wife. And basically she's caught between that and he admits to being abusive towards her. And it's this whole like really well done story, and it's the opening hours of the game. This isn't something that like it took you 15-20 hours to get there. If you are mainlining this, you're getting there very fast. This is like right outside of the tutorial area.
So my question though is so for like a person like me, I don't do the main quest. I do all the side quests I possibly can until I'm forced to do the main quest.
Dude, this is like there's a reason people still play The Witcher 3. That main is one of the best main quests in any game I've ever played.
Okay, so what's the argument here? You're trying to make it 6 or 7?
I would move the Groom up to 6 and make this 7 over Iconic Canyon.
Okay, so then what's 8?
Iconic Canyon.
What's 9?
The Eye Needle.
And then what's 10?
Ravenholm.
If it ends this conversation with the Crones, because I promise you I bought The Witcher 3, the Game of the Year edition, to play it, because I have only got like 15 hours in on the Xbox, and I wanted to play it again, never did. If this ends this fucking conversation so I don't ever have to have the conversation again and only hear the Crones one more time when I play it, I will fucking end it right here with that. I will agree with Nick.
Guys, play The Witcher 3. You were missing it.
You're ruining it by giving me this whole explanation. First off, spoiler alert. Spoiler fucking
motherfucker,
alert.
You knew what this was.
The game's old. There's not. Come on, no excuse.
You knew what this was, Josh.
I'm just saying, spoiler alert. I want to play it. I wanted to play it.
You know what? You're being so petty. I want to move the Groom down to 8, and then I'll take 7 and give Jake Iconic Canyon at 6.
Is this your list? Is this your list, Nick?
This is our list. I'm just saying, Josh is being petty.
Here's the thing.
Collectively agree.
I've got the most things on there, and I'm pretty sure PT, the thing I brought up, is number 1. So
blow it out your ass. All I'm saying is,
I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement just because you've given it so much heart. and you're so adamant about giving it number 7, I'm willing to give it to you.
That's what these lists are about, my dog.
I will give that to you. But just know, PT is number 1.
It's got to be. It's got to be. It's got
SMD.
We're not talking PT. It's got to be consensus. Jake, have I convinced you?
No.
Okay. All right. Jake, make your case.
Of like why it shouldn't.
Why
be...
Iconic
Honestly,
Canyon should be over the
point.
Crone? Why the Iconic Canyon should be over the Crone?
Because the encountering a mummy in that canyon is more terrifying than these witches.
All it does is freeze you for a moment.
The music in the canyon is more terrifying than these witches.
Jake, I'm talking the whole moment with the witches. Like you get into.
I watched all the scenes with the witches. None of it's terrifying.
Did you have them like? But you're missing the vibe of it. You're in this bombardment where all these soldiers are at. You're riding south into the woods, and that's the music turns. You feel the wind blow. Like it gets creepy, dude.
I mean, I could probably put like a Bloodborne scene that's scarier than this.
Dude, you guys are ridiculous. I just can't believe
the
disrespect. The disrespect. The disrespect.
Like a Titan boa in Ark is terrifying than these witches.
The mad disrespect on the Crones right now.
Okay, so Nick has made his stance of where it should be. Jake, in what order do you stand as far as from 6 to 10?
In the Crones?
No, just with 6 everything. To 10. What is your order? 6 to 10.
What is your order for 6 to 10?
Oh, okay. So the Half-Life people at 10. Dead Space 2. The Canyon. Crones. Groom.
The Canyon and then the Crones?
Yeah.
And then moving the Groom up to 6?
Yep.
Wait, we sat here and listened to this argument for like 30 minutes for Jake just to finally fucking agree. Okay. I think this is the last time we do a top 10.
No, never. This was
not
fun.
The last time, but
this was fun.
I've looked through extensive lists today, actually over the weekend. Crohn's was not mentioned in any of them.
Those lists were all. It's because all those lists are after SEO, Jake.
Yeah, I have to agree. So I honestly looked at older lists that weren't going for SEO. Like it was like an older time. That's where I found a couple of my good ones. I was like, okay, like PT, no matter what was going to be up there. But that's because it truly changed the horror game genre, and it's a demo for Christ's sake.
That's my beef with any list you find on the internet now is you're going to find the same 10 things because they know what. If you search 10 scariest moments in video games, PT. Something from Resident Evil, either Mr. X or Lady D or the guy that you brought up from 7. They're all doing the same thing. But no, this was fun. So here's our list. Number 10, Ravenholm from Half-Life 2. Number 9, the Eye Needle from Dead Space 2. Number 8, the Iconic Canyon from Majora's Mask. Number 7, the Crones from The Witcher 3. Number 6, the Groom from Outlast, the Whistleblower. Number 5, Foxy running through the hall in Five Nights at Freddy's. Number 4, the Xenomorph in Alien Isolation. Number 3, Mr. X in Remake 2. Number 2, being hunted in Dead by Daylight, Phasmophobia, basically anything. And number 1, Lisa from PT. Guys, that's a good list.
This is agonizing, though.
This was fun. I enjoyed this.
No, it was fun. It was fun up until you guys kept fighting over the one to two of them, and it was just like, oh my god.
That's the fun part. The debate.
I don't enjoy the debate because it's like we were good up until the Crone. The Crone is haunting me in my dreams tonight.
I'm telling you, when we do Game of the Year at the end of the year, there's going to be debate. Josh, be ready. Be ready for it.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining, everyone. We appreciate the time.
Oh, let me do that, you big baby. Yeah, so that was our top 10 scariest moments. Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you are getting all the candy. I will not be getting any candy this year, sadly. My trick-or-treater in the house is sick, so I will be home sitting at my computer doing computer things. What are you guys doing for Halloween this year?
Chinese food and scary
nothing,
movies.
What about you?
Yeah. Nothing really. I don't know. We live in a small neighborhood, so I'm not sure if they're gonna actually be any trick or treaters or anything.
I hope your house gets egged. These guys did.
I hope the crones get you. I hope the crones get you.
Oh well, according to you, they're not scary, so I won't get gotten. Everybody,
I mean, they're scared to you.
They are, dude. They're scary. You guys can still find me on Twitter at that Kaufman. You can also find me on Twitch and YouTube at Nick Fat Night. Jake, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, like TikTok, and Bebo, and MySpace, and Facebook, and that's all I got. Jakey Boy Kaufman.
There you go. Josh, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at I am Josh Saying.
Do you know what he's saying? Go on Twitter.
You don't.
As always, if you haven't done so already, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. As always, thank you to the Trident Network for having us on as a family member. Go check out our sibling podcast. Thank you to Alex Marvin Clark for our song Hunt Him Down that we use for the intro and outro. As always, this has been Smashing Game Time. We hope you had a smashing great time. We'll see you next time.